Good evening. How one does today? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Michelle Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you the short news on today. Where we're gonna start with, they had a tornado, tear through Maryland, and tracking more severe weather. They did awesome damage over there. Tornado damage actually that happened in Maryland area. You know, outside of DC. Metro. So now they is showing a video of the severe damage. I mean, it was just so much damage they had shown. You know, maximum sustained winds about 75 per miles. Per hour. So it was a short live spin of the tornadoes. And so it did a whole lot of damage, but then they would say it was a short tornado. But it was a cause of some damage, to some homes. So there was some taking down trees. Trees were taken down as well. And people without power. Several thousand of customers, was taken without power here as a result of this tornado. So it had some injuries, but good thing no one, everyone survived. Thank God for that. So homes, that was caught on fire from likely a lightning strike, or to the sandstone system. So not often they talk about a tornado in Maryland. So this tornado came by surprise to them. So Maryland was just a certain summer tense moment yesterday as numbers of warning were issued in some coasts, their confirmation unlikely. Preparation. So they still say they're gonna probably have another one tonight. So they're saying in preparation tonight because there are numerous of states, in most of Tennessee, as matter of fact, that all kicks tonight with low in about 35 degrees. So find the best cover because it could be a cold one tonight. It's kind of windy today. So we see it may have another tornado tonight. So they're saying be careful, be covered, and tornado. Um, Only thing I can tell you because tornado storms, are worse than a hurricane storm. We have weeks of warning from for a hurricane to evacuate. But a tornado, they can see that it may come, but they don't be knowing exactly when it's gonna hit. So only thing I can tell everyone is to pray and try to get in the tub. Because I remember last time they had a tornado, they had this couple got in a tub. It felt like it was coming out the foundation, but they were safe. They will say try to get into something that's hard. They're gonna be hard to move, to flip over. But the tub was heavy, and a couple was was in the tub. It was hard for her to kind of flip all out to the air and everything. So just pray, and that's what they did the last time. Last time they had a tornado storm, they prayed and it was in that tub and they survived. So and I do have another news, because it seemed like it nothing getting better. You're having crime after crime, and we see that they're using it as an excuse, to kill people. Oh, I was scared. I was in fear. No, the world is on fear. You know, this world is on fear with all the massive shooting, that's going on, and they would come to be in fear and use it as an excuse. So every day is an issue. Every day we dealing with a massive shooting that so many people lost ones, and we also dealing with a cause of that, they're dealing with fear, in the world, they're panicking, every little thing, they might pop you, so the world is just coming in fear and in panicking, so these are things that we dealing with every day. We dealing with the shooting. We also dealing with fighting with Black history. To keep trying to delete our Black history, trying to make like it don't exist. So it's all kind of stuff that we dealing with in this world, trying to pull our history down. And not, there's so many people dealing with mental health. you know, and some people that don't have mental health but doing a crime and using it as an excuse. So where it becomes to be an excuse. Now you have all these issues going on. You have all these killing going on, and you have an excuse. You know, a using. Oh, I was scared. I was in fear. I thought he was gonna hurt me. You know, and so many innocent people is getting killed with reckless gun violence. You know, so when you keep announcing, and that's another thing, you keep announcing mental health, and you got so many people don't have mental health, but they're using crime, killing and shooting and using a crime. Oh, I'm sick. I ain't took my medicine. All this and that, and some of them is not mental health. Some of them using an excuse to get off on a crime. You know, so that gives them the opportunity to perceive a crime, you know, to get off, you know, using that they got mental health, you know, using it as an excuse, you know. So I'm using this man here as an example. I'm using him as an example. You know, remember Ralph, this little boy Ralph, you know, he rung the wrong doorbell, you know, and he was not trying to break in no one house, because if somebody trying to break in someone's house, they will not ring the doorbell, you know. So breaking out, because he run the doorbell and he was unarmed, you know, he was unarmed. He was not trying to harm no one, you know. He was no threat to no one, you know. He was only trying to pick up his brothers, you know. So, but this man that was 85 years old, I'm using it as an example, of how this world is in fear, or they're using it as in fear. You know, 85 years old. You know, all he saw was a black boy out there in front of his door. And he asked no questions. He just shot. Not only shot the boy in the head one time, he turned around and shot him again. You know, and then when the police got him, what the first thing he used? I was scared. I was in fear. I thought he was going to harm me. So this world become to be in fear because of everything that's going on, and also they're using everything that's going on as an excuse. You know, but this man, 85 years old, used the excuse of fear, you know, but he shot the boy in the head and turned around and shot him again. You know, so they're using everything that's going on in the world, you know, to shoot and kill, you know, and get off on a crime because they feel like they have health issues. You know, probably never been diagnosed before, you know, but by y'all keep on announcing everybody got mental health. Everybody ain't got mental health. They're using it as an excuse to get off on a crime, you know, and their excuse of being reckless, gun violence, you know, that they're in fear, you know, using excuse of mental health. So they're using fear, they're using mental health to shoot and kill someone to get off on a crime, to go to a special location to serve their time, you know. But no more excuses on fear, you know. No more excuses on fear, no more excuses on mental health. Anyone perceived reckless of gun violence, you know, will be charged, you know, and you will serve your time and not move somewhere else unless you've been diagnosed with mental health, and they can pull that up and have paperwork stating that you have mental health. Because all these people that doing this crime, they're doing a crime because they want to do a crime. And by y'all keep announcing mental health, they're using it as an excuse to get off on a crime. You know, these people is going in there killing and shooting because that's what they want to do. You know, and some of them probably is sick in the mind and probably never went got help. You know, you have to, something have to be wrong with you if you want to shoot a child, go to elementary. You're not going to high school. You're going to elementary school. Because when somebody is sick in the mind, you know, a child is the next level of their mind. You know, so he saw that it was a child. He saw it was a boy. You know, He talking about 6 foot. This boy was number 5 something. You know, he talking about he thought the boy was breaking in his house. The boy run the doorbell. You know, he thought the boy was a threat, but the boy was unarmed. He didn't have no knife. He didn't have no gun. He didn't have anything. You know, this man shot this boy because that's what he wanted to do because he saw a black boy standing in front of his door. You know, you can't keep on using fear, and people not going to keep on using mental health to get off on a crime. You do the crime, you're going to serve your time. You know, so this just too much killing and too much excuses. You know, some crime, you know, all this reckless, you know, crime, you know, killing innocent people. You know, anyone being reckless, gun violence, will take accountability, you know, of your action. And no more excuses and fear. This man talking about he was fearing for his life. He was just scared. He thought he was going to harm you. And you thought somebody going to harm you, they would have harmed you. They would have never run the doorbell. They would have never run no doorbell. You know, so, reckless gun violence. You know, the world is on fear. You know, it's like if you stay around too long. Or you just bump them. Boom. Oh, I was scared. I thought you were about to hit me first. You know, this world is on fear because of everything that's going on. Some of them is on fear. Some of them using fear as an excuse to get up on a crime. You know, so any person who handle any firearm, you know, in a manner as being reckless, you know, disregard for a human life, you know, and cause a serious body injury or death, you know, will be charged of his action, you know, and I see too much crime and too much excuses, you know, fear, mental health, you know, action have to take place of being reckless, you know, shooting and killing innocent people. You know, people making a mistake, you know, going to the wrong drive. I know I did that many times. Thank God no one that come out shooting, you know. Anybody make an innocent mistake. I mean, one time a car looked just like mine when I came out the restaurant one time. You know, but thank God no one that come out there shooting. You know, accidents do happen. Mistakes do happen. You know, and then they try to apologize and you're still shooting the person. You know, going into the wrong driveway, making a mistake getting in the wrong car. You know, ringing the doorbell when you just only trying to pick up. You know, this world is just in fear. You know, but some of them is using that fear to really do the crime of showing the action of how they really feel. You know, that's the way they fear. You know, when they see a person and just shooting them like that. Nobody's not harming you. It's what you see. It's what making you shoot someone. You know, so killing innocent people. You shoot and kill what you want to do and what you see, and making excuses and fear when it's time for you to get taken in. You know, this old man is using, oh, I was just so scared. I was just so much in fear. You know, I thought he was going to break in. I thought he was going to harm me. If somebody going to break in, somebody going to harm you, trust me, they will not ring your doorbell. You know, so I request anyone being reckless, gun violence, you know, will be, in killing innocent people will be charged with their crime. Will be charged with their crime. You know, they have to get over all this fear. You know, because they pretending to have fear of everything that's going on in the world. And they're just killing innocent people. We have real people out here doing real crime that we can't even get hold of. But we have so many innocent people getting killed by making a mistake. And you got people out here doing real crime that we can't even touch or grab or get hold of. You know, so we have to know the difference of someone that's innocent and someone that's really doing a crime. We have to try to get over that fear. We have to get over that fear. you know. And that's when God kicked in at. God kick in, you know. That's when you got to start praying to God. We have to start praying to God. This world, you know, no matter how this world is, God is the only one that can control this world. You know, we can't just go around killing innocent people because you say you're in fear. You know, you have to pray. You got to meditate to God to calm your heart and to realize someone that's innocent is someone that's really a crime that really trying to harm you. You know, so that's all the news I have for you. We talk about the weather. They had so much damage in Marion. You know, so much damage up in there. You know, 75 miles per hour. You know, the tornado had hit there. You know, it was outside DC Metro. You know, so the same, be careful and try to find cover because another one's supposed to hit tonight. You know, so the only thing I can tell you, you know, you have to pray. You know, you have to pray and find somewhere to cover, you know, something that's heavy, like a tub, something that's heavy to get into and be away from glass. You know, so, and we just talk about all this reckless gun violence and people's getting off on a charge because it's saying they was in fear, saying they were scared, someone trying to harm them when someone is not trying to harm them, did not have a gun or a weapon at all. You know, so we got to try to get over this fear, you know, because we have to not keep on having innocent people getting killed. You know, that's what God have to kick in at. That's what you have to turn over to God and just start praying to comfort your heart, to get that fear out of you. Because with that fear in you, you're killing innocent people and you're getting off on a crime. You know, you can't get off of a crime and using fear as your excuse. You have to be careful. You know, you have to start praying and get in that Bible to get that fear out of you because there's so many innocent people getting killed for no apparent reason just from by making a mistake. You know, so I do have a word for you on today. We still in Samuel, you know, prophecy against the house of Eli. Now you remember I had talked about yesterday how his sons had their wickedness and they are a priest. You know, so that's not how God want his priests to be operating. But then also Eli is their father. You know, he is a father, he is a judge, and he also is a priest. And he's said a word to his son, but he did not have a strong discipline towards his children. He still allowed them to continue on doing what they're doing, and instead of him trying to tell his sons, "But God don't want us to do it that way," you know, that's wrong. He didn't talk to his sons that way. He just let them know that he know that he heard what they did and he left it like that. You know, so now, you know, it's a price that he have to pay since he did not chastise his children the way God wanted him to. You know, so now this man is prophesizing against Eli. You know, God getting all this his prophecy. You know, so this man prophesies against Eli house. You know, a man of God had came to Eli and he had said to him what the law said. You know, God said, you know, to this man to tell Eli, you know, did I not clearly reveal myself to your ancestors? You know, the family, and when they was in Egypt under Pharaoh. See, God had picked him and his family to be among the Israelites, you know, when they was in Egypt. You know, so remember Eli, you know, heard what his sons did, you know, but little chastising them, but let them continue on doing wickedness, still explain to them the do's and the don'ts. You know, so I chose, you know, God chose your ancestor. You know, out of all the tribes of Israel, you know, you had the Israelite. Now you already had the Levites is already priests. Now what God said, now you gonna allow your son to do this here. I chose y'all among all the Israelites and I made y'all a priest. And this what I get. You know, he could have made some of the Israelites a priest. But he didn't. You know, he skipped all over them and he chose Eli and his boys to be a priest. You know, to go up to my altar. To burn incense, you know, and to wear an apron in the presence in God present. Now you're doing all this in God present. And I also give you your ancestors a family and all the food offering that represented by the Israelite. So God chose Eli and his ancestors. Out of all the Israel, they were wearing the apron, the president other words, and this was the son had done. Didn't have no regret to God. The way they were supposed to represent themselves as a priest, they wasn't. The way they was doing, they had no regards, no regrets for God. Just were doing wickedness on there. They were having sex with the Israelite. The women's at the gate and stuff. That's not how you're supposed to operate as a priest. So why do you score my sacrifice and offering that I prescribe for my dwelling? So why do this God talking, this man explaining this to Ai, what God is saying, and so God said, why do you honor your sons, more than me by fattening yourself on the choice part of every offering that made by the people of Israel? So he's saying, after Eli had spoke a little word to them, he honored his sons. Honored his sons by letting them continue on doing what they're doing and have not honored God. Still, you're supposed to say, but God don't want y'all to do this here. God is not your house. See, God said he did not represent him against his son. He honored his son over God. And that's the same thing Moses did. Instead of Moses telling the Israelites that God gonna give you water. He said he about to give y'all water. So he didn't honor God in producing the water, just like Eli did not honor God when he was talking to his sons. So Eli, he was guilty. He was guilty of honoring his sons above God, and by letting them continue on doing sinful ways to the Israelite. So instead of Eli telling his sons it's wrong, that God is not pleased the way y'all operating as a priest. He did not talk to them that way. That's how he was supposed to honor God. Not how you should act, as a priest. He did not tell them none of that. But he didn't have a strong discipline, action with them. It wasn't strong enough. All he said was, I heard what y'all did. And he left it like that. And that was it. So Eli also is a father. He's a judge. And he also a priest. So what God is saying, you talk to them as a father. But you're still supposed to talk to them as a judge. You're still supposed to talk to them as a priest. They're as a priest like you. And you're supposed to let them know the do's and don'ts, what God don't want them to do. So he had 3 positions that he was supposed to confront his sons with. All he did was talk to them as a father-in-law, and that was it. He honored his sons and did not honor God. So therefore, the law, the God of Israel declared, I promise that the member of your family will minister before me forever. That's what he told them at the beginning. But now, the Lord declare forbid. He said, from now on, he said, those who honor me, I will honor them. But those who despise me, he said he will detain them. So when God chose Eli, in his family, as a priest, there was supposed to be forever, for always. That's what he had told them. Not knowing they was going to carry on like this here. But now God said, no, who honor me, I will honor them. But he will not honor those who despise him. They will be detained. So the time is coming, when I will cut short your strength, in the strength of your priestlyhood, priestly house, so that no one You know, no one would reach old age. You know, so God said, you know, He going to sustain them. That nobody in your household will ever reach an old age. You know, and now he is already old. You know, but everybody else that in his household will never reach an age so old. They're gonna get to the midlife, and that's it. You know, so now God is raising this baby Samuel. You know, remember Samuel? Just all about him. You know, to be his anointing. You know, refer to the king. Now, just a promise he making towards this boy, and he gonna be just that. You know, so God was saying that his faithfulness priest. Now, see, God gonna raise this boy up to be a priest, the way a priest supposed to be a priest. You know, and he gonna let some of his priests. You know how God operate now. He gonna let some of the people still be alive. You know, when he raised up this boy to show them how the priest supposed to do it, how the priest supposed to act, he gonna have some of them gonna still be alive. You know, and he gonna anoint this boy in front of them. You know, he gonna do everything. You know, he gonna announce who this boy is in front of them. You know, that's how God do. Y'all wanna corrupt being a priest and this and that, God gonna save some of his people in his household just when this boy raised up to anoint this boy, to make this boy a priest, to announce this boy who he is. You know, this boy gonna be a minister, he gonna be a priest, he gonna be a king over Israel, and God gonna show them, you know, God gonna show them how a priest supposed to be. You know, so he's saying that his faithfulness priest